Okay, good morning. So in the last class, we saw Bragg's law. We have also seen Lewis condition, and we have seen that both of them are essentially saying the same thing only. Both of them are talking about the condition for seeing X-ray diffraction. You need to have a diffraction maxima for reflections from a given family of planes. Only then you will be able to see a particular reflection. A constructive interference is a must. Then we also concluded saying that reciprocal lattice points essentially represent a family of parallel planes in a real lattice. And then the reciprocal lattice points always lie perpendicular to the family of the planes. Okay, and the distance of these lattice points also are decided by the distance between the planes. And I've shown you how 100 planes can be represented by one reciprocal lattice point. 200 can be represented by another. So this way, we introduce a concept of reciprocal lattice. So today's class, what we'll do is we'll look at the construction of a reciprocal lattice. So in order to do that, I just want to remind you a little about, let's take some crystal. Okay, I'm just taking a crystal. It is not a cube. Please, it's not a cube. It is some parallelogram. Okay, I want to show you the crystallographic axis. So let's say that this is my, see, look at this picture here. Look at this picture here. The author has not used X, Y, Z to denote these axes. Are you able to see this picture?
Yes, miss.
Right. He has cared to notice that he has not put X, Y, Z. He has put just A, B, C to talk about the crystallographic axis. Why do you think he has not written X, Y, Z?
Because they're not the Cartesian
They
coordinates.
need not be mutually perpendicular to each other. They need not be mutually perpendicular to each other. Okay, so that's the reason why he denotes this ABC as the crystallographic axis. And when he's talking of ABC as a crystallographic axis, he's actually talking about this dimension being A, this dimension being A, then this dimension being B, and this dimension being C. Within a cell, if you take a unit cell, then A, B, C are actually the sides or the primitive lattice vectors. And since those directions are defined by these A, B, C vectors, he calls these axes, crystallographic axes, also as A, B, C. Now, what I want you to do is just remember that a plane parallel to the BC plane, okay, a plane parallel to the BC plane and lying at a distance A from this plane is going to be represented by 1, 0, 0. Similarly, if I take a plane here, this plane, I'm using another color. What do you think will be the indexing of this particular plane? This plane will be 0, 1, 0. And similarly, if I take a third plane, let me draw this plane. What will be the index of this plane? Anyone? What will be the indexing of this plane? A plane parallel to the AB plane, but then at the top of the cell. That is at a distance C. So what will this be? What will be the HKL indexing of this plane? Just use the same logic that I have used. What did I say for this one? I said it is 0, 1, 0. Because this plane is cutting the B axis and it is not cutting A and C. It is cutting A and C at infinity. So reciprocal of that is going to be 0. So 0, 1, 0. Are you understanding this?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Similarly, if I write for the third plane, what will it be? It will be 0, 0, 1. Okay. I want you to remember these three planes. Basically, I am talking about a cell. This is my cell. Okay, I'm talking about a surface here. If I call this as 100, then I will call this surface as 010. I will call this surface as 001. Understood this? Okay. So now what we'll do is let us see how to construct the reciprocal lattice. So what we'll do here is, see in the picture given here, you are having a set of parallel planes. A set of parallel planes are given to you. Okay. And if you see that these planes are all parallel to the BC plane. These planes are all parallel to the BC planes. And now we say that this is a cell. This is a cell. Okay. Therefore, quite obviously, this plane is going to be 100 plane. This is going to be 100 plane. Similarly, this plane is a 100 plane. This is a 100 plane. This is a 100 plane. And what is the gap between them? The gap between the planes is going to be denoted by D100. I call it D100. Okay. So when we say the gap between the planes, we are talking of the perpendicular distance between the planes. So D10 need not be D100 need not be A. D100 need not be A. D100 will be equal to A only if A, B, C are mutually perpendicular. Are you following what I'm saying? You can see A axis is not the same as the normal. OP is a normal. Are you able to see here? I'm going to draw a normal. I will take a lattice point here and then draw a normal which is going to cut through all these parallel planes. And I will call this line as OP. So OP is a normal, means it's going to make an angle 90 degrees with each of these planes. And you can see that OP is not the same as OA. Are you able to see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So I should not say D100 is A. D100 will be equal to A only if A, B, C are mutually perpendicular to each other. So I will simply say that the distance between this family of planes is adjacent planes is D100. Okay. Now what I'll do is I have taken this set of planes where the interplanar distance is D100. Then I'm drawing a normal OP so that this OP is going to cut through these various planes. Now, when the minute I said drawing a normal to a family of curves, a family of planes, immediately you will be remembering the word reciprocal lattice. Because that's what we have been talking for the last few days. Okay. Therefore, the reciprocal lattice for this family of 100 lies on OP. That's what we have been talking. Okay. The reciprocal lattice, there will be one point lying on OP, and that one point is going to represent this family of 100 planes. Okay. So we identify a point here, call it as A1. We call this as A1. So it is this point which is a reciprocal lattice point, which is representing 100 family of planes. We call that a family of planes because first thing is they are parallel to each other. Next thing is the gap between them is a constant D100. Okay. So next, in the last class, we have seen that this OP, which is having a set of, which is going to have, you're going to see that it is going to have a set of such lattice points. Okay. So we have now talked about only one lattice point, reciprocal lattice point A1. So in general, we can talk about vectors lying along OP as reciprocal lattice vectors G equal to 2 pi n by D100. 2 pi n by D100, where n can take values 1, 2, 3, etc. This is nothing new. It has just come from the previous class. Okay. So now we talked about a lattice point. Now we have to talk about the reciprocal lattice vector. Now OA1 is the OA1 is the lattice reciprocal lattice vector. Reciprocal lattice vector is OA1, and this OA1 is a reciprocal lattice for this cell. For this cell, the reciprocal lattice vector is OA1. Next, what we do is, let us try to write this as a vector. When you write it as a vector, we know that the magnitude is 2 pi by D100. Now we want to give it a direction. So let E cap be the unit vector in the direction of OA1. Okay, and since it's a reciprocal lattice, a primary lattice vector, we call it as A star. So this A star is the primitive translation vector in the reciprocal space, and it denotes a family of parallel planes 1, 0, 0 in the space lattice. Space lattice means the original space, and this is reciprocal space. Okay, and the point A1 represents the reciprocal lattice point corresponding to all these D100 planes. Next, what we'll do is, I'll go back to the previous picture. Next, what we'll do is, we will put some more planes in between this. Let's draw planes in between this. Exactly half, at distance half, let us put some planes. So now I have, in my original picture, my picture is showing 4 planes which are belonging to the family of 100. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have drawn 7 planes. What is this family? Can someone say? What will be the indexing of this family of planes? All the 7 planes I'll now take, and now they are a new family. A family which is parallel to the original family, but then they are going to have a different index. Can you tell me what will be that index? Huh? Don't know?
Yes.
Yeah. So now look at this. Where is it cutting? See, imagine this as a cube. Imagine this first thing, you consider it as a cube. Okay. Where is it cutting your A axis? Where is it cutting the A axis? It is cutting at half. It is cutting at half. Yes or no? This plane is cutting the A axis at half, and it is not cutting B and C. So if I write the indexing for this, how will it be?
100.
No. 100 is this and this, because the gap between them is A. The gap between them is A. The gap between them is A. But here the gap is A by 2.
So 1 by 200.
No. So let's try to write let us write the intercepts. The intercept will be half, infinity, infinity. Half because it is cutting the A axis at half of A. Then infinity because it is not cutting B. Infinity because it is not cutting C. It is parallel to BC. Okay, now take the reciprocal of this. If I take the reciprocal of this, I get 2, 0, 0. So 2, 0, 0 will be the family. The closer the planes, larger will be the number, you see. Are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it's 2, 0, 0. So now I am talking, I have some 7 planes which I've shown in my picture. Now they all belong to a family called 2, 0, 0. What is the difference between 1, 0, 0 and 2, 0, 0? Anyone?
It is half the distance.
Yes, 200 distance has D200. D200 is the gap between the planes now, and it is half of D100. So that's the difference. So that means this is not the same family as D100. It's a new family. Okay, now we have to represent it by another reciprocal lattice point. So let us try to do that. So what we'll do is a family consisting of all D200 should be represented by another point, another reciprocal lattice. Where will that be? That point will be, I'm going to draw here, that point is going to be, it's a reciprocal lattice. Reciprocal lattice. So therefore, it is going to be here. It is going to be represented by a point on OP. OP is the normal. It is going to be a point on OP. And what is the distance of this point from the origin? It is at a distance twice of OA1. It is at a distance twice of OA1. Or are you able to see that the lattice positions in the reciprocal lattice will be the inverse of D value? Larger the D, the maximum value that D can take is 1. If D is 1, then I get OA1. If D becomes half, then it is OA2. If D becomes 1 by 3, becomes OA3. So it follows a reciprocal relationship. Okay. Therefore, you can simply use the same logic as in the first case. Okay. You can now talk about what is this OA2. OA2 will be 2 pi divided by D200. And what is the direction? It will be parallel to, you will find that OA1 and OA2 are parallel to each other. Similarly, we can talk about OA3. Or in other words, on that line OP, you can actually have a series of reciprocal lattice points. This point will be representing 100. Similarly, this will represent 200. This will represent all the families 300. This will represent 400. But they will all lie on the same line OP. They are all lying on the same line OP because 100, 200, 300, 400, they are all parallel to each other. They are all different families with different gaps, but then they are all parallel. So all these families can be represented as points on OP. OP is the normal. Okay, and if you see the relationship between OA and OA2, OA1 and OA2, you find that 2 times OA1 equal to OA2. Or we can say that it is 2 times A star. Okay, so point A2 represents a reciprocal lattice point and corresponds to the family D200 planes. It is parallel to D100, but the interplanar distance is half. Or from this, we again conclude that the reciprocal lattice points represent parallel planes in the space lattice. Space lattice means original space. Okay, in the space lattice, as their positions are defined explicitly by the orientation of the planes and their spacing. Orientation of the plane, they were all parallel to BC plane. So all of them were lying on one reciprocal line, and each of these points is called a reciprocal lattice point. And what will be the distance between the point A1 and A2? Anyone? If this is my origin, this distance was 2 pi by D100. This distance will be twice. So it's going to be 4 pi by D100. Or the gap between the planes, you can always, the gap between these lattice points, you can always get it from here. Okay, now you can in general write an equation. You can in general write an equation that GH00 is equal to H into A star. Why am I doing that? Because just now we have seen that OA2, which is equal to G2, was equal to 2 times OA1, which is equal to 2 times A star. If I can do that for 2, we can always extend this to other parallel families. So you can write GH00 in general is H into A star. And what is A star? A star is the reciprocal primitive lattice vector. Okay. Now, Here I have taken a plane which is parallel to BC. Now let's go back to the original picture and now take another plane. The plane that I'm going to take, the set of planes I'm going to take is going to be these planes. These planes. Okay, this family of planes if I take. So here I have 0, 1, 0. 0, 1, 0. So what happens is you are now going to get, if I want to now draw the reciprocal lattice for that, how will it look? Let us just try to imagine. This will be one plane. This will be another plane. This will be another plane. So the planes will be like this. And if I draw a normal, the normal is going to be like this. Okay. And my reciprocal lattice points are going to be simply points lying on the normal. Points lying on the normal. And since it is along the B crystallographic directions, I will call them as B star. B star, and I will say K times B star. So you get a series of reciprocal lattice points given by K B star. Similarly, if I am going to talk about planes like this, these are all families which are going to be 0, 0, H. HKL, okay, 0, 0, L. And these are all families which are 0, K, 0. Here it is 0, 0, L. Now, how is the reciprocal lattice for this going to look? This is going to be a normal to this. So, your reciprocal lattice points are going to be lying like this. Okay, and I will call this vector as C star. So, I will say K times C star. Not K, sorry. It's not K, HKL. So, I will say L times C star. This HKL, I hope you remember in solid state physics you've done HKL. Okay, so H times A star, K times B star, L times C star. Okay, so what are these A star, B star and C star called? This A star, B star and C star are called the three primitive reciprocal translation vectors. Okay, now we have talked about planes which are either H00, 0K0, 00L. We have taken those kind of planes. But your planes need not be like that. Your planes can also be in some other direction. Like for example, I may have a plane like this. Okay. I may have a plane like this where H is not equal to 0, K is not equal to 0, L is not equal to 0. Okay. In that case, the family of planes will be some HKL planes. So if there are some HKL planes like this, then how will these family of planes get represented? This family of planes in general will be represented by GHKL equal to HA star plus KB star plus LC star. HA star plus KB star plus LC star. Guys, are you following the logic or do you want me to repeat again?
You can continue.
I can continue? Okay, fine. But did you understand the logic? For this, you have to understand, first of all, how you're doing the indexing of the plane. So, H00 stands for planes which are parallel to BC plane. H can take values 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Similarly, 0K0 are planes which are parallel to AC. Similarly, you can talk about 00L. 00L planes are parallel to AB. And if you're talking of planes, family of planes which are actually having HKL, all the three are non-zero, and then talk, like for example, I'm talking about a plane like this, and I'm talking of family. Then this family is going to be represented by a point. You draw one normal and then put a dot. That dot will talk about this family. So just imagine if I am having a crystal, I can imagine drawing many such planes and families. So each family is going to be denoted by one point in the reciprocal lattice. So when I put together all these points, then I'm going to get a reciprocal lattice consisting of points in 3 dimensions. Okay. If I'm just going to take only H0, 0, 0K0, 0, 0, L, then I will be talking about one line like this with points, which are reciprocal lattice points. Similarly, I may be talking about one direction with points, or I'll talk about this with points. But then if I take all other orientation planes, then I'm going to get a series of such points and a collection of all such points called the reciprocal lattice points in a space called a reciprocal space. So that's your K space. And in general, any GHKL can be written as HA star plus KB star plus LC star. And this HKL come from the values of HKL for the family of planes that they are representing. Okay, now we used A, B, C, we said. A, B, C is not difficult to understand. Then we said A star, B star, C star. And we said A star, B star, C star are the primitive translation vectors in the reciprocal lattice. Now, what is the relationship between these two? That's the next thing we are going to see. So for that, in the space lattice or the original space, let us take a cell. Okay. So you can see that we are showing the crystallographic axis as A, B, and C. Now, take one cell, take one such cell, and let us find the volume of the cell. From vector algebra, you know that the volume of this cell has to be A dot B cross C. A dot B cross C is the volume of this cell. But then you can also talk about the volume in terms of a normal. So what we'll do is we will keep BC as the base of the cell and then draw one normal to the parallel plane. Draw one normal to the parallel plane. Let that normal be OA. The normal that you are drawing for a plane BC to a parallel plane BC is going to be OA. You have drawn a normal. So if S is the area of the base, then you can talk about volume as also, the volume can also be written as OA into S, base into height. Volume is also base into height. Okay. So now what we'll do here is, you know that this perpendicular shortest distance between the two parallel planes is D10. D100. OA is D100. So what we can now see here is, this is D100 into S. What is S? S is the area of the base. Okay. So we will just equate these two. Let's equate these two. When you equate these two, you will get 1 by D100 is going to be equal to, before that, is going to be equal to S by V. Okay. And what is S? S is B cross C. This area of the base is B cross C. And what is volume? Volume is A dot B cross C. Okay. So I'm getting reciprocal of the spacing is equal to B cross C divided by A dot B cross C. Is this step clear? Nothing. I have just taken a cell. I have called the volume of the cell as VC, and VC is going to be equal to A dot B cross C. This is just your vector. Next, what we do is, we can also talk about, if any figure like this is there, then the volume is base into height. What is height? Height is normal. So that normal is D100. So D100 into the base area is also volume. Okay. So we're just going to Equate both these and then write 1 by D100 is equal to S by B, which is B cross C by A dot B cross C. Now what we do is, okay, now what we'll do is, we need to just multiply both sides by 2 pi. Let's multiply both sides of this equation by 2 pi. So if I multiply both sides of this equation by 2 pi, okay, by 2 pi, then I will have a 2 pi here and then I will have a 2 pi here. Okay, and you can see that this right hand side is a vector, so the left hand side also should be a vector. Left hand side should also be a vector. Okay, now if you see what is this, you will see that this is only your G100, which is your A star. Okay, so your A star vector is 2 pi B cross C divided by A dot B cross C. 2 pi B cross C divided by A dot B cross C. So that's the relationship between A cross A, B, C. Okay, so A star equal to 2 pi into B cross C divided by A dot B cross C. And what is the direction of A star vector? What is the direction of A star vector? A star vector will be perpendicular to the planes BC. So what we have seen about reciprocal lattice, you're drawing a normal on that, fixing a point. That means it has to be normal to BC plane, or it has to be perpendicular to the family it represents. Similarly, you can write what is B star. B star will be 2 pi into C cross A by A dot B cross C. Similarly, C star will be 2 pi into A cross B by A dot B cross C. Or you finally coming to the conclusion that for a general GHKL, the reciprocal vector will be normal to the family of the planes HKL. We are doing it for H00, 0K0, 00L because we are talking about the three primary primitive vectors, reciprocal vectors you want to get. And then we are extending that idea to a general. A general GHKL will be normal to the family of planes. Now I want you to remember what you people have studied in your SPM. You must have studied that the crystallographic direction, a direction and a plane with the same index will be mutually perpendicular to each other. Do you remember this? Who taught you SPM? Who taught you SPM? I thought I asked a very simple question. Do you know your teacher?
We have talked about this.
I'm sure you must have talked about this. A family of crystallographic direction, let us say this direction has got a index HKL. And if you're talking about a family of planes with the same index HKL, they will be mutually perpendicular to each other. You've studied this in SPM, if the teacher has taught you, and if you have learned. Okay, so next we have to now do some applications of this to some real crystals. Okay, so for that, you are going to just use this relationship 3.16 ABC. This set of equations are very, very important. This conversion you should know. Okay, so we are going to use it and then apply it to a simple cubic lattice. Simple cubic lattice is the simplest of structures. A, B, C are mutually perpendicular and equal to each other. A, B, C are mutually perpendicular and also equal to each other. And they will lie along X, Y, Z direction. Okay, so now if you apply those equations that you have there, you will get your A star as 2 pi by A X cap, B star is 2 pi by A y cap, c star is 2 pi by a z cap. You can actually do it and see. Okay. And again, what are you seeing here? You're seeing that a star is equal to b star equal to c star. And you're seeing that they are perpendicular to each other. Okay. How do you know they are perpendicular? Because one of them is along x, the other is along y, the other is along z. So they are mutually perpendicular and they are all having the same values also. So you can come to the conclusion that the reciprocal lattice structure for a simple cubic is also simple cubic. The reciprocal lattice, because the reciprocal lattice space is going to have a collection of points that you've got. So if you do take those collection of points and then identify your areas A star, B star and C star, you're finding that A star is equal to B star equal to C star and they are mutually perpendicular. Exactly like A, B, C in the space lattice. So you come to the conclusion that for a simple cubic lattice, the space lattice and the reciprocal lattice, both of them are simple cubic. The only difference is that in the space lattice, the side of the cube is A. The side of the cube is A. In the reciprocal lattice, the side of the cube is, anyone? The side of the cube is 2 pi by A. That's a difference. Why did I say 2 pi by A? From here. The side of the reciprocal lattice, the primary translation vectors in the reciprocal space will be 2 pi by A. Whereas it will be A in the case of space lattice or the original lattice. Next, you can also talk about a first Brillouin zone. How do you get a first Brillouin zone? Take your reciprocal lattice and then connect it to all the neighbors, and then draw perpendicular bisecting planes. Then you get a closed figure. That closed figure is called the first Brillouin zone when you're talking of reciprocal lattice. Okay, so the reciprocal lattice for simple cubic you get by drawing perpendicular bisectors to origin and then connecting it to all the neighbors. Okay, so that's your first Brillouin zone that you will get. Okay, similarly, if you're going to talk about a body-centered cubic lattice, we are going to take a picture here. Okay, so this you see is the body center, and the side of each of this is A. Okay, and you're seeing that this is not a primitive lattice. So first of all, let us draw the primitive lattice. The primitive lattice is going to be given by the primitive vectors A, B, C. Okay, and this you have studied in the second class or third class. You can see that you can do this by connecting a corner lattice point to the body centers, the nearest three body centers. Then you can see that A vector is half a x cap plus y cap minus z cap. Similarly, B and C. This is the geometry. And applying that equation 3.16 ABC, you can get A star, B star, and C star. You're going to find that this 4 pi by A is a factor that is going to repeat itself. Okay, and you can see that the reciprocal lattice of BCC will be FCC. Reciprocal lattice of BCC will be FCC. And the lattice constant is 4 pi by A. In simple cubic, the lattice constant was 2 pi by A. Here the lattice constant is 4 pi by A. And if you put this A star, B star, C star in the reciprocal lattice space and C, what you get will be an FCC structure. Now, if you want to get the primitive cell or the first Brillouin zone, I told you how to construct that. If you construct it, what you get will be a rhombohedron. A rhombohedron is a six-faced closed structure, a six-face closed structure where each face is a rhombus. You know what's a rhombus? A equal to B, but the angle need not be 90. So you get a rhombohedron. And the volume of the rhombohedron will be 16 pi cube by A cube. Similarly, for a FCC, for an FCC, it can be shown that the reciprocal lattice will be BCC. It will be BCC, and the first Brillouin zone in this case will be a rhombodecaedron. A rhombododecaedron. A rhombododecaedron is a 12-faced closed figure where each face is a rhombus. I am deliberately leaving out hexagonal. It is there in the book. I'm leaving it out because it's only going to get more and more complex. Basically, you must understand this concept of a reciprocal face, a reciprocal lattice, reciprocal vector, reciprocal space, and how the structure of these lattice points in the reciprocal lattice will be for your simple cubic lattice, for FCC lattice, BCC lattice. Okay. Next thing is how the Brillouin zones will look. That's it. So in the next class, what we'll do is we'll start off with using XRD for analysis of a crystal geometry. So that's what we'll do in the next class. Please, it's getting complex, guys. If you people don't go back and study every day, you're going to be completely lost. So I'll just wind up the class for today. Who are all the people in the class today? Let me just check once. How many of you are there? It's only Abhinav and Pujita. Okay, so 4 of you are absent. Anyway, I am recording it. So on record, I know it.